that opposed you, you would make mistakes that you would be so sorry for down the line. When you have an organization such as the council that's 100% Democrats, there's no opposition, your decision-making gets skewed. I know, for example, if you look at Waters, is it Waters? What's that? The tall building, Waters. Waterford. No, not Waterford. The one Midtown Mariners Tower. This is a prime example of how something that we did, and we were in your face when that was planned. It was going to be 2 buildings, high rises, going like this to the river. And we moaned and groaned and yelled and hollered. And we ended up with a compromise, which was the building went this way with a view corridor. And that was the first time that the term view corridor was used in Edgewater. Now think about that right now.
I was on the planning board and I voted in that direction.
Right? Now think about that. If we had not been...
Well, the board voted on it as well.
But the only reason that the board...
We certainly listened. I remember that well.
Would you let her speak?
The reason that happened was because we made a fuss. And think of what that would look like right now if there were 2 buildings like this flat to the river. You need us more than you realize. And all what we ask of you and what we would try to give back if it's reciprocated is some respect. Some respect for the fact that we do not agree with you. A lot of times we don't agree with you. A lot of times you don't agree with us. That is the process. But you need to respect the fact that we have a right to our opinion. We have a right not to agree. We have a right to fuss. We have a right to be loud. We have a right to try and get you to hear. I don't expect, I can only speak personally, I don't expect for you to drastically change your mind. But I do expect you to listen and to think. And maybe in that moment that you're thinking, there's a period of compromise. Something gets shifted a little bit. That's the process. And in the midst of that, we have to respect each other. We all live in this community. We all love this community or we wouldn't be here. And it's a special place. And if you can't treat us with respect just because we're the opposition, which we aren't even, we're your neighbors. We're the people that live next door to you. We're the people that you see at Whole Foods. Your kids play with, not my kids, I don't have kids. But this is a very small community. Can we just grow up a little bit and all start to treat each other with some respect? I mean, is that asking too much? Can I not agree with you and still be treated with respect? And you're the elected official, so if sometimes you get really pissed off, you still don't have the right when you're sitting in those chairs to treat us with anything but respect, because you've been elected by us to represent this community. So I ask you to think about that and to stop thinking about us as the enemy all the time. You need us. You need us.
Anyone else for
Peter? 12606 Undercliff Avenue. Good evening. I hope you do listen to the emotional pleas and statements. Consider them. I'm not as eloquent, but they are they're statements from the heart for many people, and I know you have your feelings as well, with your interest in the town. I want to again congratulate the police, firemen, first aid squad people. They were recognized Friday night, and that was a good tribute to them. Many people outside uniform services as well, parents and neighbors that came out to help their neighbors. And after their neighbors got help, they came back and helped others. Teachers giving their volunteer time well beyond their hours, keeping up with the children that lost their homes, and keeping up with parents. So I want to thank you for that recognition on Friday night. One of the business topics for tonight, the $19 million that the bond will be joined will this cover the completion of the ball field? Will that be it? Or will there be more money down the road? And with such numbers, 19 million, it behooves you to get all the dollars back from the waterside construction, not just a 3 or 7. It has to be full payment. I want to ask also about the resolution tonight on paving Undercliff. Will that be opened again? That resolution will that be open to be discussed in the public?
Ordinance.
So you don't have, yes, we have to pull that tonight. We're gonna table that a little later on.
Okay.
We're gonna come back and talk about that, that's the one that we pull, okay?
Thank you. Just a general statement, and I hope it can pave Undercliff all the way from Palisade Terrace to Route 5. It's took quite a beating over the years with the construction and with the weather. So I hope that will complete the whole of Undercliff. One comment, and I don't know the history as well, but the Green Acres money that the people of Bergen County and Edgewater voted for, is it what, 0.2 cents on 100 or so, is well spent. We would have had strip mall and residential at the marina if it wasn't for the money that came through those county sources that were voted on by the citizens. So good has been done with the Green Acres money. All right, thank you very much.
Anyone else in the public place wish to be heard? Anyone else?
Yeah.
Billy?
Bill Jones, 359 Undercliff Avenue, Edgewater, New Jersey. I love this town. My uncle was the mayor here, Jack Ferry, mother's brother. I'm the music director at Holy Rosary Church for over 30 years. I've been in that chair for over 30 years. A lot longer than anyone on this dais has been in their chairs, okay? This community means a lot to me. I take my position very, very seriously. I don't digress from what's required of me and what's expected of me, no matter what the adversary is. And then when I get attacked verbally, my wife gets attacked by members in positions of equal importance in this community. It's a travesty. It's against all of our constitutional rights.
So is spitting.
I'm speaking here right now. No, I'm speaking. Did I accuse you of anything right now?
Yeah, I think you
I'm
did.
speaking right now.
I think you did.
No, I did not. You're out of line.
You're out of line.
Counselor, you're out of line. I didn't call your name for anything yet.
Let him speak.
Continue. Go ahead.
You are required by law to conduct yourselves in a manner appropriate to the respect that these chairs have afforded you through people's efforts in this nation, okay? These chairs come with some respect. When you fill those chairs, you are required to present yourselves in a manner commensurate with the sacrifices that people have made to put you in those chairs. We put you in those chairs. Not all of us agree with you, but over the years we put everybody in those chairs, the citizens of Edgewater, okay? And no one in these chairs has a right to call me out at here we go, and call my wife a douchebag and a scumbag. The mayor said that. You said that to me. Are you denying it? Are you denying it? Go ahead.
This is a personal
Yeah,
matter.
really, Billy.
It's not a personal
It is a
matter.
personal matter.
Absolutely
It's a personal
not.
matter. It
You
shouldn't be
called my
discussed
wife
here.
those very names. And you're out of line.
No, you're out of line,
You
sir.
are abusing
Sir, you're
your
out of line.
position.
You're
You're
out of
abusing
line,
your
sir.
position. You're
You're
a
out of line, sir.
travesty.
I'm not going to discuss that. I'll have you removed.
bring this in.
Oh, you
All right,
can't
that's
get
a
him
personal
removed.
matter, I'll have you removed. You want to talk about town business? Otherwise, please leave.
Yeah, let's, come on, Bill, come on.
I know.
Oh, just take it, right? Mr. Barlow, Mayor, just take it, right?
Order,
Just
yeah,
take it,
order,
right?
order. I just took it too, Bill, so there you go.
You said those words,
If
pal.
Okay, I'll have you removed.
Yeah, good. Let's see who's under the hot chief. I hate those.
Chief, I'd like the gentleman removed, please.
You have no right to do that.
Billy, you don't have a right to do that.
You don't have a right to do
He's
that.
disrupting and accusing me and disrupting the proceedings.
It's a
He
5
has
minutes.
his 5 minutes, he's allowed to say whatever he wants.
What's that?
And so are they.
That's right.
Language was used for, it was in one form. That was a personal issue. It's not the law. Well, that's not what we're gonna debate right here, right now. Okay, he's not gonna use that language in his fall. That's not what it's for. I understand that, but we're not discussing this. Okay? Thank you. So please, thank you. Okay? That's something that would have to be determined at another location, so not here. Okay? We're not gonna do that here. Okay?
Anyone else from the public wish to be heard? Close the meeting to the public. Yes, counsel, please.
Just in terms of the Oprah request, if anybody's aggrieved by the answer to the Oprah request, there is a method of redressing your grievances by going to court. And if you've had 3 attorneys who've already told you you're right, then you can be pretty assured maybe you'll win. Maybe you won't. As far as the connection between the cemetery and the Waterside litigation, I think I've explained it at least 3 times before at length with you here.
No, sir, you haven't.
Well, you
haven't
don't
ever
remember.
explained it.
Well, I explained it, you
You
may
only
not have
explained that I
accepted the
didn't have the right to
explanation.
that information.
This isn't a debate.
I know.
I'm talking now, I didn't interrupt you, don't interrupt me. I appreciate what everybody has said, as far as I can see sitting here through my very short tenure. Everybody has had an opportunity to say whatever they want to say to the mayor and council. Despite any attempts at civility. And I've never seen any member of this mayor and council in public at any time disrespect or intimidate anybody who was here. They all had a chance to speak. And the only times they were shut up is in cases where they were totally inappropriate language and or civility and disruptive. So in terms of what you've discussed, I appreciate the fact that the Constitution allows everybody to speak, and I appreciate the fact that we all observe the Constitution. It would be nicer if we could be social and more civil to each other, but that's not my decision. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor, we have to adjourn some matters that are on tonight,
Yes, we do.
because we don't have enough votes. But I think we wanted to have Mr. Wilcox discuss the budget, then we will adjourn the budget. We
We'll table it at that point.
Right.
Since he's here, we might as well have him talk about it. And unfortunately, like you said, we don't have enough.
Mr. Civility.
So, Steve, if you want to address it, and, we'll put it on the record that you're here, and we'll discuss the budget. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. We were supposed to introduce the 2015 municipal budget tonight. However, I believe because of the lack of 4 council members at the meeting, it will have to be adjourned for hopefully a special meeting just to get it introduced. Based upon when that meeting takes place, we'll determine when we have a public hearing on the budget, probably later in May or early June, again, depending on when you can get your special meeting calendar. As far as the budget is concerned, 2015 budget to be introduced is 1.64% increase in appropriations, a little over $438,000. 416,000 of those increases, or about 95% of the spending increases, are salaries, benefits, and pension. The The other expenses, the operating costs of this budget were a little over $28,000 more than last year. That goes from the clerk's office, the tax collector, the tax assessor, recreation, police, fire, everything else across the budget is $28,000 on a $26.7 million budget. And relative to the impact on the average homeowner, an average residential assessment, which is a little under $448,000, will see a $25 increase for municipal taxes. That's a little over half a tax.
Very good.
If I could just address, there was a comment made before about Edgewater being the highest relative increase in Bergen County in terms of last year for taxes. It has to be understood that that's just not municipal taxes. That's the town, that's the school, and that's the county. For example, this budget is $25. The impact to the average homeowner on the school budget that's proposed is $182. So that $207 increase on the average, roughly $448,000 assessment is 88% school and 12% mayor and council. So I just wanted that on the record, that it's not just this budget or last year's municipal budget. We deal with the county, we deal with the school.
Understood.
And we actually are the smallest piece of it.
Right.
Maybe even Congress is wrong.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's where we are. Mr. Marinello.
$26. 25 or 26, you said?
25.
Very good.
Motion to table the budget?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a motion to table the budget, table it until we're looking at,
If I may, well, no, I just want to go down the agenda with the borough attorney to ensure we're tabling all the appropriate documents at this time. Ordinance 1518-2015 is the calendar year. Ordinance to exceed the municipal appropriation limit and to establish a cap bank.
That would have to be also tabled.
And then resolution 2015-093 is the budget introduction resolution.
Yes, that would also have to be tabled. And we have ordinance.
And then would you care to do all the financial matters now, Mr. Marinello?
Well, ordinance number 1517-2015 has to be tabled.
That's correct.
Ordinance number 1519-2015 has to be tabled.
That's correct.
And 2015-098 resolution must be tabled.
That's correct. And also,
2015-101.
That's correct.
Has to be tabled. How about salaries and wages? What do we have there?
that is the payroll.
That's just payment.
Okay, that's just
Payment
payment
claims.
for the payroll, that's fine. Yes, those have to be tabled.
So do you want to do one blanket
Yes,
motion to
there should be
table?
a motion to table those matters which I just read off.
do I have a
I'll
motion?
make the motion.
Second.
Do I have a roll call?
Okay.
Vince was my councilman.
Councilwoman Lawler?
Yes.
Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
Okay, so moved.
So what we will do, Mr. Mayor, at this time, when we confirm the governing body's schedule, we will re-advertise, the borough clerk will re-advertise the meeting.
That will be a special meeting?
That will be a special meeting, and we can, all of those items that were tabled this evening can hopefully be reintroduced.
Okay, do we have the committee council or liaison reports to the forward? Councilman Bartolomeo?
I just would like to.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. A short progress report.
Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Go ahead.
Thank you, guys. On the volunteer ambulance building that we've been working on for quite some time, the old municipal building. We had a meeting last week with the architect that was working on the building and possibly might work on it, doing this piece, and discussed looking into possible any asbestos and different things before we get moving on this, be sure that the building's safe and so on. So we had Councilman Henwood was there, Tom Quinton was there from the DPW, and we're just trying to get this put together properly and keep moving ahead with it.
Very good, thank you.
That's where we're at.
Anyone else? I think I went a little ahead of myself here. I need to do approvals of minutes. I need to have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 16th, 2015, the regular meeting and the closed section, and also a motion to approve the minutes from the April 6th meeting of 2015, the work session and the closed session. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll take a motion from Councilman Lawler. Do I have a second?
Second?
Second, Mr. Bartolomeo, and a roll call.
Okay. Councilwoman Waller?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
So moved. Okay. There's a letter here that I think Clerk was going to read. Some communications that we got from the public. Do you have that, Lynn? Okay, could you read that, please? Excuse me? Here you go. I have a copy of it.
Okay. Dear Mayor McFarland, I would like to commend the Edgewater Ambulance Corps for their professional and courteous efforts on my behalf. I am a resident of Riverview on the Park, and due to unfortunate circumstances, the elevator in our building was disabled. I am recovering from heart surgery and am unable to walk stairs. EMS David Lewis and EMS Manfredo, with the assistance of Police Officer Price, had the unable task of assisting me down and up 4 flights of stairs on 3 occasions to help me meet my medical obligations. I truly appreciate their support and kindness. Please extend my appreciation to the members of the Borough Council and the Edgewater Ambulance Corps. Sincerely, Jeremiah Connor.
Very nice. Okay, now we're looking for the consent agenda on the following resolutions. Resolution 2015-088 through 2015-0912, and also 2015-094 through 2015-097, 2015-099 and 100, and 2015-102 through 06. Do I have a motion?
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
If I may, if we can hold Resolution 194 and Resolution 100, those are treatment works, application resolutions. Those have to be approved with a special proviso. So if we could just vote on those separate.
You want to vote on those, or you want to table those?
No, we need to vote on them this evening, but if we could just vote on those separate, so pull those from your consent agenda if you don't mind.
Okay, that's the 2015-94,
Yes.
and the other one was 100, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so the agenda, we're going with 2015-088 to 092, 2015-095, 96 and 97, 2015-099, and then 2015-102 through 106. Do I have consent agenda on that? Excuse me?
Yes.
Councilman Monti? I need a roll call.
Okay, Councilwoman Waller? Yes. Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
Okay, so moved. So now we need to do the 2015-094, the Hyde Park Treatment Works Plan application. Do I have a motion?
You can do both 2015-094
Oh,
and
because it applies
2015-100 together.
Right, because it
Yeah,
applies to
they're
both.
two separate projects, but essentially the same
Understood.
application.
Okay.
And it
And-
must- I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Attorney.
It must be understood that that's subject to approval. We're passing it subject to the approval of the engineers.
That's correct.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Have a roll
Okay,
call?
Councilwoman Waller?
Yes.
Councilman Monti?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolome?
Yes.
There's one more. We have a resolution authorizing executive session. We have to go into executive session to discuss the portions of the collective bargaining agreement, actually the terms and conditions which are proposed in any collective bargaining agreement.
And also for marina personnel to sign.
And marina personnel.
Sign as well, okay? And, you know,
And
so before we,
therefore be resolved by the mayor and council that we recess into private and executive closed session to discuss the aforementioned subject matters. The minutes of same may be disclosed at such time in the future as the governing body in its discretion may determine according to law. We will come back into the open again to adjourn this meeting when we're done with the close.
very good. Okay, let's do it. Excuse me, we need a motion for that, or we just need a roll call? Do we need a motion for that?
I'll make a motion.
To close and go to a closed session. That's made by Councilman Bartolomeo, second by Councilman Lawler, and a roll call.
Okay, Councilman Lewin? Yes. Councilman Monty?
Yes.
Councilman Bartolomeo?
Yes.
Okay, so be it. We'll go to a closed session.